Okay, Peter Schultz here again. So now I'm going to show you how to finish up the coverage of the axillary lymph nodes. So what I do is I have the main fields from my my anterior posterior field and the posterior anterior field in the axillary area. So first off, I'm going to put some segments on the anterior posterior field, and again I use the slider to show me where I'm supposed to put the dose on. And I do it from 95, and I move the slider up until the dose begins to disappear. It will keep on staying hot right above the lung, and this patient, because she's a bit special, it's also warm further out here because the breast is up there. But I'll show you here by putting on segment the area I believe I should cover with the MLCs and the area I'm supposed to sort of modulate the dose out to. So again, back we go 100 and around 3%, maybe more or less. It's a bit different up here. Good. So field 3.1. I'm going to, at least usually it's this area I cover with it, but I'm going to check what's special about her. Okay. Yeah. This is a difficult one. I guess what I have to do is I have to move some dose from anterior to posterior. So I'm going to move a bit to the posterior field. There we go. And I'm going to check up on how it looks on beams of view. Better. And I better also just look at the coverage, because it might have fixed itself, and then I'll be a happy man. Not bad. It's pretty close. So you can actually see now where the area is cold, my MLC is pretty much right on that area. I'm just going to change it a little bit so that I can actually make it a bit larger. There we go. So without further ado, I'm going to put some dose on this field, and if there's any places where it turns out warm, I will correct it. And we'll check here. Dmax 106.8, so that hasn't changed. Oh, not bad. So this is looking pretty nice. It's getting a bit warm in the front, so I can't really put that much more dose on there, but I can from the rear area, on the posterior field here. Let's just check out how the coverage is here. Okay. Yeah, so this is pretty good. I'm just going to finish it up by putting on field 4.1. And maybe actually I'm already done, which is good because it shouldn't take too long, even though I'm doing this with attention to detail. Okay, so this patient is usually difficult to see where I'm supposed to place the field, so I'm just going to take a wild guess, because usually it turns out that the field has to be something like, oh, I moved the jaws. Let's see, what is it here? X2 4.4, not 4.3, 4.4. They have to be the same. There. Okay, sorry, my bad. Back to the fields here. I'm going to correct. And usually I cover the part where the lung is, and then root, go back, and up here. Now, let's see if I'm right. I'm probably not, but I'm usually pretty close. So I'm going to put dose slider back to 90 and check if this is the area where I needed a dose. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll just have to slide it a bit back here. Check again. Nope. A bit more. And in the upper part, it also needs a little bit dose in the posterior area. So again, I'm just going to change the dose here on field 3.1, so it turns close to 5, right? It's close to 5. And now 4.1, calculate. And hopefully I can put the finishing touches on the plan now. But I have to check it out. So I have an expectation of the plan being good, so I'm actually going to look it through as if I was showing it to a doctor and check if there's anything out of the ordinary, if the coverage is good and all that stuff. There we go. Alright. So at 90% coverage, we don't mind too much about the upper PCV slice. And coverage is good. And if it's too good, I can just take a little bit off field 4.0. So I can just put 0.59. There's no reason to cover it too good. Yeah, it's nice. So I'll slide downwards. It's a bit of an underdose here on the personal lymph nodes. A little bit of the area right here, which is hard to cover, but I'm just going to look it through, and all the lymph nodes are covered. Basically, all of them are covered with 90% dose, which is good. And most of the breast is covered with 90% dose, but I don't care about that. So I'm going to look it through at 95 upwards, and I'm going to check if it still looks good. And doesn't look too bad. It's a bit of an area that's a bit blue, so that's what I'm just going to do. I'm going to go through and do some small corrections. I'll check it through at 97 maybe also, just to be checking if there's any really cold areas. Not really, but just to even it out a little bit. I'm going to look it through, but not too long. Maybe 5 minutes just looking it through and seeing if there's somewhere where I have to change it just a little bit to get a better coverage. Now let's see, field number 5. It's not bad. I'll check up on field number 5.1 if it can help me in any way. Okay, so field 5 and field 5.1 I can open up. There we go. A bit further downward. So this is the first correction I'm going to make. Oh no, this is actually pretty, no, not downward. A bit more outward. Oh, so I have to change x1 to minus 11. No. Minus 13. My bad. Wrong way. And field 5.1, of course, also has to be minus 13. And then I'm going to open up field 5, because I remember that it looked like it would be smart just to open it up a little bit more down here. Oh, on the medial side. Huh. I'm getting confused here. Okay. Anyway, like that. Same here. I'm just going to follow field 5.0 pretty closely. Like that. Alright. Now I'm going to calculate if it looks good. I'll be happy, and I'll go and correct fields. Yeah, like that. So now I'm going to go and simply start out by going back to field 1.2 and looking if the field is relevant. Sometimes it turns out that I really didn't need a certain field, and then Well, I guess that's just how it is. So it's not really wasted, but it's hard to tell from the start. So field 1.2, I don't believe I need. It seems cold out there on the edge. So, and you see I took dose from it, and the Dmax in the axillary area has gone up. So I moved those from field 1.2. And I moved, I think it was 0.05 the field weight. I'm going to put those 0.05 over on field 1.1 to get the balance right. Dmax 106.5. I like that. Okay, so it turns, let's see if we can get it some bit more visible. It's a bit less blue on the edge. Let's go to field 2.2. No, 1.3. Switch off this MLC aperture here. 1.3 might be a good one to remove. Maybe 1.4. Oh, 1.4. I think I'll take the dose off field 1.4 as well. And let's just check if if I've evened it out or if I've ruined it. Okay, not bad. And again, I've removed it from 1.4, so I'm going to put on 1.1, so that's 0.55 now. Dmax 106.5, still good. Okay, so what it turns out is that field 1.2 actually just has to be the little tip up here. So I'm just going to correct that. Yep. Like that. Oh. There we go. And where do we have it? 1.2, 0.045, maybe just 0.0.4 in field weight. I'll just check. Is how many mountain units are this? Is 4.5. It's just a little bit too little. Field 1.3 is also just a little bit too little. 7.5. Alright, let's check up on it again. Okay, I like this. See, it's looking green. It's looking greener. In the color wash, I'm gonna go look here at field 1.5. Is that this dose on field 1.5? Is there? Yeah. So field 1.5. I'm just gonna move the slide again. Ooh. It turns out that I can change field 1.5 to give a more even coverage. There. Nice. Maybe let's see if it's field 2.3. Yeah, you can see actually 2.3 is perfect for evening out the dose. I'm going to put on the operational circulation markers. What do we call it? The markers where the tumor bed has been. We call them clips. Tumor bed. Now I'm just going to adjust this field right here like that. And calculate. And it might be done. So I've actually reduced my dose max as well as getting even more even coverage. Oh, there's a little hole in the dose here. I'm just going to check out what I can do with that. Nope. There. Field 1.6. It's a bit difficult to see, but it should be. It seems to me that if I make field 1.6 a bit bigger, it's a good idea. So I'm just going to make it a bit bigger. Now this is a real risk of ruining the plan if I change too many things. So I try to really try to limit myself, but it's hard because it can always get better. Okay, so this is nice. So I can see that the dose has changed up in my in the axillary area, so I'm just going to put a little bit 1.95, a little bit more dose on there, and probably a bit 1.62 with all these changes. Okay, now I'm going to look it through again and see if I'm really happy. Now, it also says something about the robustness of the plant, that I can just change these things and it really doesn't change too much. See, if you notice that the paroxysmal lymph nodes, the coverage of them has decreased a little bit. So I'm just going to check up on these fields here before I call it a day. And of course, you also have to merge the fields. Haven't completely forgotten it, but almost. Let's see. So, field 2.8 and 2.7, 2.6, was also 2.5? Yes, they're all part of the split field. Now, 2.5 I'm not going to change. 2.6. Yeah, so they all look pretty good. I'm just going to put a little bit more dose on each of them. It doesn't really matter that much, but I'm just going to try. And I really mean a little, just to make it look good. So, because it doesn't really take too much, but it can also ruin the balance if I begin changing too many things. Alright, we go back. So I have a Dmax of 105.4. That's great. I have a pretty good coverage. Oh, let's just check here. PTV coverage here. Needs to have a look at that. Right in the middle, it doesn't look too good. But I can fix that. Okay, back to the lymph node coverage. I'm just going to check up on that. That finishes. So, yeah, this coverage is good. You can also just check my plant objectives. Green, green, green. Don't, and the breast coverage is almost 98%, which is really good then. Yeah, and the coverage of the lymph nodes is also very good. So I'm just going to see if I can get this PTV and breast coverage right here close to the chest wall fixed. I guess it turned up while I was doing some other corrections. Now, first off, I'm going to check if I can use field 5.0, and actually I can, because it's almost not, it's not really going into the lung by itself. I mean, it's not just shooting through a part of the lung that's already getting a lot of dose. It's actually pretty good. So it seems to me that I can move it basically on the entire way down. I'm just going to move it a couple of centimeters more into the medial direction. There. And that might help me. Let's see. Yes. Not bad. Let me take field 5.1 and do the same with that. I'm just going to put show all amateurs. Apertures, not amateurs. There we go. And it might be enough, it might not. Hard to tell. Oh, this is looking good. See, now all I need is one really small field, perhaps maybe from the medial side. So I'm going to find, there's one of the fields I wasn't using anymore. One of the, okay, 0.4, that's from the lateral side. That's not going to work. So, field 1.4 I'm just going to remove, right? Isn't that the one I'm not using? Yes, I'm going to remove 1.4. And I'm going to make a copy of 2.3. 2.9. There's a lot of segments. A lot of segments. And now I'm going to see if it's possible to squeeze it in. A little bit of dose along the chest wall. Oh, I can almost see it. So it's actually pretty difficult to see, but I have my experience tells me that the problem is around the chest wall. So I'm just going to put it right up around this area and see how it turns out. Yes. This is okay, so there's a little bit of correction, but it's not much. And that's on the outs, so the anti-air direction. Just gonna do it like that. Okay, and a little bit of dose on that. As little as possible, getting close to 5 minute units. Exactly 5 minute units, because else I'm gonna upset the balance of the plan. 5 minute units. Okay, so let's see. Oh, this is looking good now. Good. So now I'm gonna check it through again and see if it's like it is. And I mean, the Dmax is 105.1, so that's also a bonus. And hopefully it's done. The personal lymph nodes might just leave a little bit more dose in. Okay, so why is it a bit cold? Right where the fields are merging together, it's a bit cold on the IMN. This is probably because of field 3.1 and 4.1. I'm going to find them and correct it. I'm just going to do like that. And yeah, okay, I can tell that. See, it's cold in the bottom. Right here. I'm going to open it up. Right there. I got the same thing for 4.1. That happens to some of them. You just need to open it up. Now we'll go back and see if it's enough. I think it is. Yeah, it's actually better. Just a little bit, but better. Now we can check the plan objectives again. If everything is good, coverage is good. So I'm not gonna do more about this plan. So actually, without having almost zero margin for the PTV on the personal lymph nodes, it's possible to get a relatively good coverage of it, which is good. And now I'll see if I can merge the plan, merge the subfields. This is always interesting. Oh, see? It turned out perfect. So even though I have a million lymph, 9 segments, it turned out really great. Okay, so this is nice, and I'm just gonna, for the fun of it, I'm just gonna see how long we have this script where you can see how long it takes to deliver each field. And if you look up in the top here, you have field 2 especially, because that's the one with all the segment. This is almost at the bottom part right here. the 9 segment, it takes 16.6 seconds. And usually we say that if they can hold their breath for around 20 seconds, then there's no problem. That's what we say. They can at least hold their breath for at least 20 seconds. Field 3 is above that. It's 22 seconds. And I might write that down so that people know that they have to make sure if the patient can breath hold or not. But breath hold is what makes this plan possible. If this person hadn't breath hold, then the heart would simply be too close to the target. Okay, so this is that's it for now. I hope that you can use this plan for use some of the techniques I've used in your dose planning, and hopefully I'll do some more videos if there's anything else I can contribute with. Bye bye.